Now, I think it's pretty safe to say that when we look at the Star Wars franchise, there's no doubt about it that Luke Skywalker is by far one of the most favorite Star Wars characters out of the entire Star Wars fan base. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, of course, with the sequel trilogy, a lot of fans, including myself, were very disappointed with how Luke Skywalker was used in The Last Jedi and how little Luke we really got in Episode 9 and exactly what Disney and Lucasfilm are trying to do for the future of the Star Wars franchise, this new Star Wars universe, if you will, that's going to consist of live-action TV series, new movies, comics, books, novels. I mean, the list goes on and on. And with Kathleen Kennedy now out of the picture of making creative decisions for future projects, I really do see a light at the end of the tunnel. But when we look at the past here, when we look at The Rise of Skywalker, The Last Jedi, The Force Awakens, obviously there was a big disservice to the character of Luke Skywalker and to actor Mark Hamill. Now, obviously Mark Hamill worked very hard on both The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker, and I respect him for that. But the thing that I don't agree with The Last Jedi at the very least, is how Rian Johnson really portrayed that character on the big screen. And we can see that there were many examples in The Rise of Skywalker that J.J. Abrams was trying to make it very apparent that he had a lot of issues with Rian Johnson's decisions with The Last Jedi. If you guys have seen the movie, you will know exactly what I'm talking about, such as that line of dialogue where Luke Skywalker says, "A Jedi's weapon deserves greater respect," where he catches the saber as Rey tries to throw it over the cliff just like Luke did in The Last Jedi. It was like a real big jab to Rian Johnson. Now, the thing here about the future of Star Wars and everything related to Mark Hamill, now, it said that both Disney and Lucasfilm went through many changes during the months of August, September, and October of 2019 last year, during the major reshoots and rewrites for the film by director J.J. Abrams and his crew, as well as Kathleen Kennedy. Now, it said that these changes were made in order to provide a different tone for the film's second and third acts, and to make the film cater to a general audience more so. Now, it said that one of the big reasons they did this was to also decrease the running time of the movie, and that along with these many scenes were deleted or canceled in the process, including a majority of Luke Skywalker scenes that were going to be in the form of Force Ghost sequences and in the form of flashback scenes. One of the most important scenes for Mark Hamill was a scene that was based on George's original idea for Return of the Jedi, when Obi-Wan Kenobi's Force Ghost was able to come back to life on Endor during the celebration, where the same thing was going to be applied to Luke's Force Ghost during the battle against Palpatine between Ben, Rey, and Sidious, where Luke's Force Ghost would temporarily come back to life to help Rey and Ben Solo to destroy the Emperor once and for all. Now, though this was a scene written by George Lucas and it was only partially shot before it got cut and canceled from the film entirely, and likely will never see the light of day on the Blu-ray edition, along with that, many of Luke's flashback scenes that Mark Hamill worked very hard for were also deleted in the process, and that Mark Hamill shot over 7 flashback scenes that were going to tell brief stories of the past. This was when the original cut of the film was roughly 4 hours and 20-something minutes long. So we could see that Disney and Lucasfilm went through a lot of changes, and it's very unfortunate because I believe that this movie really could have gotten the endgame treatment, and what I mean by that is that, well, this movie could have easily been 3 hours and change. There's no doubt about that. I mean, when we look at The Rise of Skywalker, it's a very rushed movie. You could tell, especially in the first act of the film, it's a very rushed movie. It moves very fast, which does keep your attention. I will say that. It does keep your attention. I wouldn't say that I felt like I was going to fall asleep at any point in time, like how I did with The Last Jedi. But with The Rise of Skywalker, it just kept on moving and moving and moving. But it felt very convoluted during those times where it was very rushed, and that had to do with a lot of deleted scenes from this movie, these key scenes that served as vital moments of Episode 9. And I think it's one of the main reasons as to why the duel between Rey, Ben, and Palpatine, technically speaking, of course, is so short, is because they took a lot of moments out of the movie that we could have honestly seen on the big screen. Now, obviously, the editor, Mary Ann Brandon, talked about this, that there was a lot in this movie. I mean, a lot in this movie that were taken out of the film, including a lot of Palpatine scenes. In fact, Mary Ann Brandon admitted that there was even a segment cut from the movie in which Palpatine reveals exactly how he survived. Why on earth would you take that out of the movie? I don't know. But as far as taking out all of Mark Hamill's scenes, basically, besides his small Force Ghost scenes in this movie, and that one little flashback that we got, which was, you know, one of the 7 or 8 of them that they shot, it really is unfortunate of what they did to Mark Hamill as an actor and to the character of Luke Skywalker, of what could have been with this movie and what we actually could have seen, and how it could have been modeled after what George Lucas actually had a vision for of his original ideas for Return of the Jedi, and how that was going to be used for the ending of Episode 9 of what was partially shot before it all got cancelled and deleted and just put to the wayside. So, with that being said, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to morning.